My name is Leonard Stone, and I am an American. And my family first came to the United States and fought in the Continental Army in the Revolutionary War. The three Stone brothers fought in Massachusetts. And my great-great-grandfather fought for the Union Army in the Civil War. And my great-great-grandfather, another great-great-grandfather, was involved in the Oklahoma Land Rush. My family has been in this country for 200 years, and I love America, and I believe the Constitution of the United States is what makes us different from any country in the world. Republics are not that common. We need to keep ours.
My name is Jay, and I'm an American. My father was born in the Ukraine. He was one of 12 brothers and sisters. He was the oldest, and as was the practice in those days, he came over to this country with very little in his pocket, didn't know the language. He did his best to bring the rest of his brothers and sisters over. He ultimately got 2 sisters over. The rest died in one of the periodic massacres that happened in the Ukraine and Russia at that time. He became a doctor in this country. He would have never had that opportunity where he was born. And he served in the U.S. Army as a major, as a physician. He saved many lives. And he brought me and my sister into the world. We got a college education, and we have the blessings of freedom that this country gave, and he gave his life to achieve as best he could for himself, his family, and the people he left behind.
I'm Anne. I'm an American. My grandparents all came from Finland in the late 1800s. They all moved to Minnesota and had farms. They worked very hard, and they really couldn't afford the farms. The banker was after them for the money the whole time that they were on them. They couldn't even find anybody to buy those farms. My grandfather came from a farm on which he was a serf. He left because he didn't want to be in the Russian army. And like all immigrants, they made it. My grandparents never really did learn how to speak English. My parents, they spoke English, but they also spoke Finnish. So I'm the first generation of American that learned only English. So I believe that Americans are all immigrants, and the immigrants are the backbone of this country. In the Silicon Valley, the biggest companies are brought here by immigrants. Sergey Brin, Elon Musk, and my best friends are the people who can barely speak English, and they are living the American dream.
Hi, I'm Warren Gemeter. I'm an American, and I want to tell you a little bit about my family. My great-grandfather brought his family to St. Louis in 1880. He was a watchmaker from Switzerland and brought his family, including my grandfather, who was at 16 at the time. They were indentured to work at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery for 6 years, and after finishing the indenture, they started their own watchmaking or jewelry store business, which was eventually taken over by my oldest uncle, and the other 3 sons all went to University of Rolla in Missouri and became engineers. My mother's family came over from Germany. I always thought they came through Ellis Island, but a little research on my part found that they actually took a boat or a ship to New Orleans, came up the Mississippi River after they arrived in 1852. They stayed in Missouri and farmed and then took on various occupations. My great-grandfather actually came to California for the gold rush in 1854, didn't find any gold, but returned to Missouri in 1857.
My name is Carol Gameter, and my ancestry is English. My forebears came to this country in the 1640s, not too long after the Pilgrims, so many of my ancestors really helped to build this country over the years. I have also a little bit of German, but I'm mostly English and definitely American, going way, way back. One of my ancestors has a house that he built in, I think it was 1740, the Michael Griswold house that is still standing in Wethersfield, Connecticut, and it can be visited today as a historic landmark in this country. This is the town in England that my forebears came from. It was called Solihull. It's in central England, and this is a picture of the church where they belonged, and their coat of arms is in stained glass window, and this was the coat of arms of the Griswold family, and Griswold was my maiden name.
I'm an American. My mother's side of the family came from Ireland. They were horse thieves. They had to escape. They came to Maryland. They had a plantation with the money they stole. They owned slaves. They had 17 kids spread out between Pennsylvania and Ohio.
I am an American. My name is Debbie Kerwin. Kerwin is, I'm told, old Irish name, although there are not a whole lot of Kerwins in the United States. I don't run across too many. My father's grandparents came from Ireland, settled in Wisconsin. His parents had him in Portage, Wisconsin, and moved to California, where he grew up. My mother's grandparents came from England, and there's Irish and Scots thrown in. And she was born in San Diego, California, so she was a native and I am a native. I am an American.